Woo-wee, what's going on, YouTube? It's Donnie B all day. I am so super excited today because this wasn't supposed to be in today. It was supposed to be in like another few whatever days, maybe next week at some point, but it's here today. So, guys, the knife that got me started in knifedom and just being a lover of the blade is the same knife that got a lot of people started. I mean, a lot of people started. We saw, this one's not a Lyle, it's a cheap remake, but it's a cheap remake that I use though. We saw this knife in Rambo First Blood and we lost our heads. We said, you have got to be freaking kidding me. I am now a knife guy. And I mean, I've loved this knife all my life. I still love this. I think it's the greatest looking Rambo knife ever made. Just everything. And when it came down to doing my new Rambo series of knives, if Rambo was real life, what would he carry? Or if he could do it all over again, what would he want? The series that I created that way, I really wanted to pay 100% homage to this knife, but make it a knife that would have been more realistically used or carried or you know what I mean, or made. And I started with a few things, and I started thinking, you know, when it's like combat hunting knife, right? This isn't supposed to be your Swiss Army knife, but it has some of those qualities. But here's the deal. I thought to myself, when in the woods do I ever need a couple of screwdrivers? I really don't. If I need a couple of screwdrivers and a knife for around the house or whatever, I've got a Swiss Army knife. I don't need that. When in the woods am I ever going to use a wire cutter? That's not the greatest wire cutter, and really you don't even need that slit because all you got to do, it's for like chicken wire or those, you know, those rectangle ones, really thin gauge. You can just wrap it around and twist and break it anyway, so it really doesn't matter. So I know I didn't need that. But what I do know is I wanted a really nice swedge. I wanted a really nice edge, and I didn't want it hollow handled. I want to be able to have this as a hammer end for breaking rock, especially if you are making arrowheads and things like that. You want to be able to chip away at stone without ruining this. This being a hollow handle piece, this is not going to be the strongest thing in the world, especially because there is on the other side of it a compass, and you will damage your compass. Now, an original Lyle, it's going to be made a little bit better. Joe Mallinson, Kane, those guys, they make the best hollow handles in the world. I mean, ever. Joe Mallinson right now is the #1 hollow handle knife maker in the world. But he didn't make this, right? And it's not going to be happening. But either way, if you put anything movement, you know, like that compass in there, and you start banging on this, eventually your compass is just not going to work. So I really didn't need that. Do I need the first aid kit? No, that's what pockets are for. So there's just a few things about this knife that realistically I didn't need. So I thought, well, how can we make it better? Plus the fact that it's a really, really skinny blade. It's a really skinny blade. Not so much this way, especially Lyle's. Lyle's was done right. But it's narrow this way. It's just a straight line. And for me, I'll leave that out. I personally like a meatier blade. So when it came time to design the dbad Mission 1, my make on the first ever Rambo knife, well, I decided it had to fit the bill, right? It just had to fit the bill. It had to be solid. The knife so first, let's talk about the leather. The leather is always great. They did a little stamping on here. I love how they do the lanyard hole here. They even have a lanyard hole here that's riveted. It's not just a hole, but the leg strap right here is just the best. I love how they do that. I love the orange. Instead of going with a really light brown sheath, they just added the orange in there. And I didn't even ask for that. That's something that they just took on their own. They ran with over at the Cookery House, and I think they nailed it. They knocked it out of the park with that. But now I'm going to show you what's right. And before we get into it, notice this is a little different than this. This is green thread. This is military paracord. When you're talking about a ranger, a military ranger, or any military soldier, what's he going to have on him more than anything? He's not going to have a bunch of green thread, but he is going to have paracord. We all have paracord in the military. So it's only fitting that this knife, look at these bevels, look at these grinds. They are so crisp and deliberate. It's the way it should be. And it is freaking awesome. Now, we're talking about these saw teeth here. These are going to be like basically wound channel makers. You can notch with them. It's not made to cut down a tree. If you want to cut down a tree, that's what this part's made for. But you can absolutely notch with these. And another good thing is when you are using it as a camping knife, when you have the handle to your pot, you scoop it with one of these and you just pull it out. That's why I went with this style rather than, even though it's very attractive, this style. I still needed to make it my own Rambo knife. And it's paying homage to this knife, not copycatting it, which I just don't like. I don't like when people copycat. So now we're going to do a side-by-side, and you can really see where the dbad blade is going to shine. Now, this one is a 9-inch blade. This one's 9.5. The overall length is just a little bit longer, and it's because of the blade. The handle is the same length. Now, the guard is just a usable guard. That's it. There's nothing extra. Nothing needs to be there. It's just a usable guard that's going to protect your hand from sliding, this and that. I used a shallower ricasso. Because of the guard, I'm not using it as a finger choil. So I went with a shallow ricasso rather than this one. That way I can have more edge, right? The real difference, though, is in the blade width. I mean, you can really see how much wider it is. My design is a 2-inch blade, and it is every bit of 2 inches. And this thing is great. The paracord offers a really nice grip, even for a round handle. But what they do is they take the cord and they run it in here, so it actually gives you, either hand, a little something that is grabbing onto your hand, because round handles, face it, just aren't that great, right? But underneath here, you have your full tang, and then you have some slabs, so your hand will continuously be round, right? If you ever needed the cord, you needed to take it off, well, guess what? You still have a knife underneath, so you're going to be okay. The hammer pommel, obviously, it just does what it's supposed to do. It's made for hammering. You need to knock somebody out or Bigfoot out rather than stabbing Bigfoot, because you want to get all that money from the World Fair. Well, there you go. But that drop right there, without putting the teeth on the swedge, it's an unsharpened swedge. Legal in all 50 states to have it unsharpened, but it didn't need to be sharpened. A back cut, you know what I mean? When you're slicing at skin or some kind of pelt, slicing and coming back, it's made to come back like this and catch and just rip through skin. So that right there will do its job. It's just beautiful, though. It's beautiful. This may have just become my new favorite knife. I mean, when you're talking about paying homage to the classic, first blood knife, but just making it a little bit beefier, whoo-wee. And you can see how Lyle, when he did his, he pulled it down in here and went around. I wanted a really beautiful, enhanced, and deliberate swedge line right there. So when I designed it straight down and then over. And the guys at Kukri House just knocked it out of the park with that. This thing is super beautiful, and it is a 1/4 inch thick. And golly, but sitting here gawking at it isn't going to show you if it's any good. So let's go out and use this big sweet Rambo beast. Oh yeah! All right, first things first. Let's see if we can get a little cutting done. Yeah. Ooh, all right, so here we go. So, is it gonna cut the nylon rope? Absolutely. Is it the sharpest knife in the world? Absolutely not. But that's the thing. I can sharpen it to any way I like it. out of the box sharpness on this one, it came able to cut through the nylon rope, but I had to push hard. If I'm going to be honest, I'm going to be honest. You can always recommend when you buy a knife too how sharp you want it. Just remember the more razor-like you get, the more chances you have of weakening the edge. This one I have no issues or worries that I'm going to have that problem, so let's just bam, right there, right through there. Make sure that there's nothing going on there, and there is nothing going on there. It is freaking lovely. That was kind of easy. Oh yeah, I'll tell you what, when I said that this is going to do wound channeling, ripping it out of that tire, I could just feel it going, which means that would not be good for skin. That would not be good for skin. All right, let's see what we can hit. I'm going to use it as a baton. That's what I'm going to use. I have some more of that over there. So let's use this one right here. Let's use this. All right, here we go. Here we go. So the edge is nice enough to shave this bark. No problem. So we have that. I mean, these are the kind of easy tests. I really just want to go hammer on this thing. But you got to get through the small stuff first. Let's see. Let's see. All the way around. Man, it feels really nice. Like, I expected it to be less of a grip in the hand because, you know, I'm designing a round handle, and you are going to have, you know, it's cord, so it will slip. You can ask them to have it glued. Mine is not glued in case it needed to come off for in the woods, if I'm actually using this in the woods. But you can see underneath, I'll even separate it for you. You can see the rosewood under there. So this will hold up just, I'm trying to see if, okay, there we go. I wanted to see if we could find a pin. So you can see the rosewood is pinned on. So it's a full rosewood handle underneath with this wrapped over. So now if you want to make sure that this doesn't slide, let's say you're buying it just for the purpose of having a Rambo knife and you don't want slippage, ask them to glue, and they'll do it, ask them to glue down your cordage, because hacking away with cordage is going to loosen it. It's just going to be what it does. For me, the cordage had to make sense for, like, if you need it, because, you know, you could pull out the fibers inside the cord and you can use it to make fire. That's it, because I could always just rewrap new cord. So I wasn't worried about that, but I just thought about that. Some people might be. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This was going to be one that I wanted to design to keep, just because, you know, it's the one that got it started. But I don't think there's any way I'm just going to be able to keep it. This has got to be a user. It's got to be. I really, really like the comfort. My arm in the way? I don't think so. I don't think so. Oh, man. So, that's it. That's it. This is kind of a fat one to do a spear tip on. I could have picked a smaller stick, but, I mean, the bigger the stick, the more you're going to see. It's a lot of people that would want this knife are going to buy it for the collecting, you know, just for collecting. And I get that, because if you're buying a all-purpose Rambo style knife, or the Rambo collection, if you're doing the whole collection, that's might that's my, oh wait, I wanted the baton. That might be what you want it for. Hold on. All right, I found a nice big fatty. So we're gonna slam on this thing. See if we can't get through it. That's a big one. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's a big fat piece of wood right there. Let's keep going on it though. Let's keep going. Yeah, yeah. Ooh. Yeah. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Line that thing up. Try to get as much blade as possible in there. I went at an angle. Yeah. Oh. Holy Moses. Holy Moses.
Moses, holy gosh. So this is going to be more of a, obviously, your camp hunting knife. Like it's designed, the original design is from a hunting knife, but it does all your camp needs too. Oh, I wanted that one. Wow, this stuff is stiffer than I thought it was going to be. I was like, oh, I'm going to breeze right through this crap. This is a little aged. Kind of like me. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh. Wow. I want to see if I can maybe I'll stand up and get some swing on it. Oh. Man, it's kind of cold out here, boys and girls. I'm not going to lie to you. It just came in, so I got excited. I wasn't ready to film today. I wasn't ready to film today. Man, I'll tell you what. This thing's a looker. This thing's a looker. Let's make sure that tip is nice and strong. And you can see on this one, the way it's done. Ooh, falling over. Maybe you can see. It's a really nice fat tip. It's a big fat tip. I like that. It's good. This thing puts some muscle out. So I wanted to hit something hard. Let's go hit something hard. Make sure that the edge is going to look good. We just did a whole bunch of batoning. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong. All right, let's see. We can hold you up. We'll even hold you up here. Now I noticed, because it is a round handle, and it's designed to be a hunting knife, not obviously your chopper, I am getting some like rotating, but it's a round handle knife. Let me put you guys down. I don't think I'm getting you in the shot the whole time. Let's see. Oh, I was gonna see. Oh, hammer. Wah! So I know that with a round handle, using short chops is going to be better than long chops. But either way, on a nice hard piece of wood, this isn't that Australian stuff I get, but even on a nice hard piece, it's still going through damage free. Damage free. Man, I'm cold. I'm cold. Should have dressed properly. I got excited. Holy crap. All right, so let's talk about this. Let me shift my cord. I mean, it's all pretty good right now. But look at that. Look at that. I mean, if I didn't use it, you'd have to think about what it looks like before being used. For people that buy wall hangers, man, this is one of those things that you can hang on your wall and just absolutely impress anybody who sees it. And then if Bigfoot breaks in your house, you take it off the wall and you just go to town. You go mental because it's gonna do it. I'm astounded by how beautiful it is in person. Like I wish it would portray, and I hope it does, the way I see it. It's just really, really attractive. Man, it is nice. I'm gonna fine up the edge too. I'm gonna fine up the edge and just make it really, really just cut things sharp. This isn't gonna be my banger knife. I have banger knives. This is gonna be my cut stuff knife, and what that's gonna do, it's gonna ensure me that I don't, where are you going? That I don't, it's windy, that I don't lose any of the cordage separation, right? So that's what that's going to do, is I'm going to use this as my cutter. This is going to be one of those carry knives where you put it on a belt and you cut things with it. And that's exactly what it's going to be. It's cut things, and then, yes, people, it'll be a self-defense knife all day long. This thing is just super, super beautiful. I am happy. So I got already out now. We have the Mission 1. We have the Mission 3. We have the Mission 4. we have the mission 6. So all that's left is the First Blood Part 2, the mission 2 it's going to be. And we're going to do a mission 5, which 5 and 6 are the 2 knives from Last Blood. And so that's what we have. We have my version of the MK8 that has to come out. But holy crap, this one, as far as knives in my collection go, man, this might just be my new, like, I'm gonna have this around me all the time. I mean, I just really enjoy the look. And who knows, if I'm not gonna use it as a banger and this is gonna be my cutter, I might glue down my cordage. Maybe not. Maybe I'll keep it that way. Maybe I'll keep it that way. I don't know. I'm having a hard time deciding that, because it's like I could think of 1,000 different ways to use the knife, but I just want to keep this knife with me. It's just so nice. So anyway, this was the introduction. There'll be more videos. This is the introduction to the dbad mission 1. It'll be on the website for sale within the next week and a half. If you want one, you can order ahead of time. You can just get a hold of the Kukri House and say, hey, I want a mission 1, and they know what it is, and they will send it to you. So, man, gosh, it's pretty. I'm gonna go clean it. Get all that crap off of there. It'll polish right back up once I get all that sappy stuff. And I'm gonna oil it, and then I'm gonna look at it for a little while, because I freaking love it. I am Donnie B all day. Until next knife.